Hello everyone, it's Yvonne here to do your What's Cracking reading for Monday. Firstly, a big thank you to you all for your support of my channel. It's been truly wonderful. If you are interested in personal readings, gifting or donating to the channel, everything is below. If you're after a live coaching program, I have one now available starting this week, but I can start it next week if you're interested. That's a very reduced price. It's 6 sessions just to get you kick-started, get you doing some work on yourself to help you move forward. You just email me for that. I had someone in to check out the sounds in my computer and on my iPad, because I take the readings on my iPad. My iPad is perfect, there's nothing wrong with it. The videos are uploading beautifully. Any issue you have with hearing the readings on a day-to-day basis will be to do with YouTube or your own sound system. I'm not sure, but mine's going really well. The computer, however, is a different problem. My computer is a very expensive computer and I bought it about 4 years ago, but apparently the microphone's going out on that, and that is why on the lives it's fading in and out when I do a live session. So I'm up for a new computer, but they have set it up for me for the time being to use a microphone. So hopefully we can just use it for the moment. If you are interested in coming when I'm on live now on Wednesdays and on YouTube, live Fridays on Instagram, and I do a live once a month on Facebook where I do live card pulls or mini reads. If you're interested in that, we're going ahead with another one on the 11th of October. If you want to whip over to my page at the Aussie Goddess and like my page, you will find that there's a list of everything I'm doing for the next few months, and in that are all the mini reads that I've got scheduled. I think that's everything. I'm using the Rider-Waite Tarot for your reading, so let's get going. All right, so we have the Six of Cups coming through. The Six of Cups is a card that seems to be going around quite a lot at the moment, actually. A lot of movement. We're about to move into Mercury retrograde, so the old thing about people coming back from the past seems to happen during Mercury retrograde, along with, you know, a lot of other sort of technology issues. The Six of Cups is a card that talks about nostalgia, reminiscing, going back to the past, thinking about the past. It also sort of has earned a bit of a reputation around the whole soulmate thing. I think because we see somebody giving someone flowers here. And because it means, you know, very often this is not just a soulmate, but can be past life, soulmate, or past this life. Sorry, Mercury retrograde. So the Six of Cups often talks or speaks about being in touch with your past again, something coming back from the past, perhaps something here that you left behind. Now, for all the people who are going to say, I don't want anything back from my past, sometimes this can mean a family member, a friend, but it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. But the thing is, there's no point in saying you don't want anything back from your past, because this could be bumping into someone in the street that you knew a long time ago. For me, because the Nine of Wands is here, it might be somebody that you left behind intentionally. They may have hurt your feelings, they may have said or done something, maybe even inadvertently, but it looks to me like you've got a bit of protection around yourself here. So maybe you're not so keen on seeing this person, but it's a bit of a preparation from the cards. Sometimes when we see things or acknowledge things from our past, especially if they're not nice to acknowledge, that sense of making friends with them again, or sort of being able to put closure on something, can give you this beautiful sense of being more stable in your own life. So it may have been something that you've always wondered about. It may have played a lot of tapes in your mind about what's happened, what went, what hurt you, whatever it was. But somehow or another, in this sort of chance meeting with someone here, you're resolving something here that brings you into a better state of stability. I can remember one time hanging on to something that really bothered me, and then when I finally bumped into the person a long time later, I realized, for starters, I'd hung on to something that really didn't hold the power with me anymore once I'd seen them again. But I certainly realized that perhaps, you know, not everybody's on the same page as you, and there can be miscommunications, and there can be people who look a certain way but then aren't that way, and you see who they are when you meet them again later. So sometimes it's a good thing just to revisit, just so that you can let go of some sort of, I don't know, some sort of illusion that you've kept about them. It's like going back to visit. You know, when you've gone somewhere and you've had such a good time, and you only remember just really, really good things about the place. And then sometime later you make your mind up to go there again, and it looks completely different to what you thought it was, because in your own mind you've built this beautiful illusion about it that probably isn't real. That's what's happening here. And this is really good, because it's sort of installing in you this sense of intuition. It's bringing something to the surface here that has been hidden from you. It's showing you something you've not seen before. And because of that, your intuition is sort of like almost restored. It's like you get back to understanding that deeper level of yourself that you may have buried under something. It's about trusting your intuition again here. Wow, so some sort of change then is coming in fast, which is going to bring you a great deal of joy and happiness. So something from your past revisited that will help you understand your own intuition, move you into a greater sense of stability and a lot more happiness. But you see, somehow or another, in this past event, you buried yourself underneath it. You buried something underneath it. So maybe you trusted your intuition at the time, and maybe, you know, for some reason something was distorted. Because it's changing something for you here. So the moon card talks of Cancer and Pisces, so you could be dealing with one of those. The moon card is about things being hidden from view. This is very often deep-seated emotions. Sometimes when we've had bad experiences, for example, we tend to sort of push them away and not remember everything about them because of our own issues or trauma. But very often that buries parts of ourselves that really need to be more on the surface. So we're talking about like trauma, for example. If you've experienced trauma, very often you hide parts of those to protect your own feelings so you don't get hurt. Something is coming to the surface here. Some sort of emotion, maybe an emotion that you've really not recognized in a really long time. It could be a way of thinking. It could be, okay. But something emotional is coming to the surface here, right? And you're walking away from something because of it. Five of Pentacles, there's a lot of soul searching going on here, yeah, and a lot of taking time out. This is quite heavy energy, but I want to say to you, even though the energy's heavy, it sort of feels like a lot's coming from this. So you may have buried something that is going to be of great advantage to you now. So you may have buried an emotion or a memory that's going to help you become more of who you are. Let's say that. Now, what I see here is because this emotion comes to the top, there may be a walking away from the situation, knowing that you have learned something from it here. But there is a lot of healing here and recovery from it. So it could be somebody, some of you may be finding something out about your birth. It may go that far back. Which may be a little bit sort of enlightening for you, but it's helping you move on with your life here, knowing now. So there's a closure here. There's a feeling that you can leave something behind here. But whatever this is, it's changing you in some way. Let's just have a look. Okay, so we have the Wheel of Fortune. The universe is saying here it's time now. It's time for you to have some sort of realization, some sort of epiphany, some sort of wake up here. You can't stay in slumber any longer is what they're saying. You can't stay in this extended slumber that no longer serves you. So something here has to be responded to, awakened to. You will no longer be asleep. Okay, so some of you may still be in a part of yourself, still sleeping. Okay, letting go of something here with this Four of Pentacles. Could be for some of you realizing you have a belief here, Nine of Swords here. Some of you may realize that something has been tugging at you for a very long time that no longer serves you, especially with this Nine of Swords. This could be anxiety. It could be letting go of some sort of depression, anxiety, understanding how to put your life back in order, but it's lifting. It's like lifting a lot of stuff off you, and you're releasing, and now you're more grounded to spirit, to your universe, to your higher self. That's it. You're blending with your higher self. You're letting go of the human realm here. You're letting go of ego. Something has held you back a very long time ago, and you realize now that's your ego. It's something to do with something you've learned. Something to do with what you learned a long time ago when you were a child. Okay, so because of this, you're letting go of sort of defensive behavior. I think some of you will be cutting things out of your life now, knowing that you've been hanging on to things that no longer serve you. It's a really deep reading. Let me just keep going with it here. We have the Knight of Wands coming through. This is you going forward with passion now. Something you've released is allowing you to move forward with the passion that you've always had but denied. Okay, could be something to do with creativity too with this card here. You may have hidden away something. I always think it takes someone to say something to you. You doubt yourself and then you limit yourself. Six of Cups coming through. Something from your past here that may have created some sort of boundary, some sort of, you've put something around yourself to protect yourself, but it could be that you've dumped it down and put a wall around it. Could be your heart space that you've walled off here because of hurt as a child. You've closed off something. And the universe is saying you need to come back into this energy, this stability, this being alive again. It's like it's bringing you back to life. I feel that you've had something hidden deep within you that your intuition is now realizing or picking up on. So you're really tuning into something that's buried deep within you, and it's becoming a huge change for you because you're moving into this sun. It's almost like it's taking you back to this inner child so you can release this stuff you've been holding on to for a really long time. It's definitely bringing in more stability. It's definitely taking you to a place where you feel a lot more comfortable in your own skin. So for some of you, this could be a physical event. It could be a person. It could be, something that happened in a physical way. But for others of you, this may be emotionally not being able to express yourself, not being able to show your true self. And you're working out now how to work with this energy and let something go. Something's going to trigger it though, and I feel like it's something or someone from your past who's going to trigger this energy for you. But it's going to free you up from anxiety and worry and put you back where you need to be. Very interesting reading. You're giving up the fight, which I like, so you're not fighting it anymore. Some of you may find this from some sort of communication here, possibly on the internet. Yeah, it's the end of a cycle. You're closing out a cycle here. It's got, yeah, the Death card, beautiful, Six of Pentacles. Okay, so what we have here, because I thought I'd just clarify it a little bit, I have the Ten of Swords. So we've got the end of a cycle. This is the end of a cycle. And a lot of people saying, oh, what does that mean, the end of a cycle? Well, in this particular scenario, for whoever this resonates with, this is maybe the end of a cycle of fear, end of a cycle of not revealing your true self, not being true to who you are, because the Queen of Cups is coming up here, which says to me it has something to do with the way you love others. That's the change you're going to experience. So there's going to be some part of you that you realize is no longer necessary for you. You're being able to let something go here. And we have this equal give and take. So maybe some of you are realizing that you've been giving for too long and you haven't been taking back what's rightfully yours. Very nice reading. I'm going to read Titans, Gods and Titans card for this one. I think it needs a Gods and Titans oracle card. Okay, this is really interesting because Aries, the card of war, has come out here. There may be a battle ahead. Learn the rules of engagement. That's really interesting, isn't it? Okay. Certainly not the only deity in the Greek pantheon that enjoyed a good battle. Zeus, Poseidon and Athena, to name just 3 others. Aries was the only one that represented pure, unadulterated bloodlust and force. A battlefield is a horrific place, and without the long-range weapons we now have, fighting in ancient times was close-quartered and wild event. Brutality, blood, and mad courage flowed everywhere, and that indeed is Aries' energy. Aries enjoyed watching and inspiring the riskiest of endeavours and victories, men dying en masse, the squeal of dying war horses, the roar of battle, the fires of pillage, the screams of raped women. His parents, Hera and Zeus, at times turned their backs to him, disgusted at his pleasures. Although war seemed like the pinnacle of manly strength and testing, Aries just didn't support all men in war. He supported whoever showed the kind of battle style he favoured, which was a love of fighting over all else. In his work Argonautica, Apollonius Rhodius describes the warlike Amazons. They were brutal and aggressive, and the main concern in life was war. War indeed was in their blood, daughters of Aries as they were. Temples to Aries were also found in Sparta, a society that made the martial arts almost a religion and in which human sacrifices were made. Whoa, this is really, really heavy, deep stuff for today. War still rages in many places on our earth. Man has not yet learnt to control his Aries-like urges. However, the wars we wage within ourselves are possibly more destructive than those that take place on physical battlefields. If resentment poisons your blood, if the sword of rage pierces the peace inside of you, if irrationality stains your judgment, you may well be feeling a little of the eyes of Aries upon you. Remember, there are usually other ways of dealing with a situation than going to war, but if you do, remember that there are always rules of engagement. Wow, okay, so this is really interesting. I'm thinking this has something to do with your masculine energy here. So it might be interesting to see what this is for people when it happens, or even if it has already happened, because I think here there's a little bit too much masculine energy. So maybe having a look to see whether your feminine aspect is balanced, because I think this is what this is talking of. Having that balance again of feminine and masculine. Have a wonderful day.